Are you trying to hop on that trend right now to get yourself a pair of Asics 1130s but don't know if they're real or not? Well, in this video, I'm going to help you guys out. Everybody, I'm Massimo and welcome back to the only channel on YouTube that covers in-depth videos of cars, fashion, lifestyle, the Show Me channel. And in this video, I'm going to be educating you guys on how to spot a fake pair of Asics 1130s. These sneakers are pretty wild right now. I mean, a couple years ago, no one would blink an eye to these sneakers. Not everybody wants a pair, but you got to beware because there are some fakes out there. So before I teach you how to spot a fake pair, be sure to like and share for that YouTube algorithm, as well as subscribe. Any support would just be awesome. Now let's get into the video. Alrighty, so the first thing you want to check before you even see the sneakers is to look at the box. And the thing you're going to be looking for is the fonts right here. You want to check the font sizing, the font spacing, and the font placement. So where they place the font, how big is the font, and then the spacing in between the letters. You can go ahead and pause this video right now to compare this real one to your guys's. But yeah, now let's get into the sneaker. Here they are, the Asics 1130s. This colorway is called the Black Pure Silvers. And I'm gonna be real with you guys, this is not gonna be the easiest real versus fake, because these sneakers quality were never really known to be the best. I mean, I'm just getting it in hand and feeling them up right now. I mean, it's far from what you would get on like a New Balance or something. And also what makes this sneaker really hard is it is very mass produced. So it's very easy to replicate those kind of factory forms. So the first thing you're gonna check is the quality. Just give the sneaker a general look around, a good feel, and we're going to start looking at the stitching. Most notably the stitching right here with the Asics logo. Fake pair would just not be that aligned, and it's just going to go everywhere. Here's a good example of real versus fake. As you can tell, the stitching, man, I think as you can tell, the stitching is kind of just all over the place. It's not really in a straight line. It's going to be very, very slight, but yeah, you can also tell in the middle sections right there, they kind of stitch it a little bit too hard and even kind of like morphs the material a little bit. All right, the next quality check is going to be right here for the toe box. So the real pair is going to have a nice crisp arch going across, while fake pairs would kind of miss on this detail and kind of do it flat. Here's an example of what you're going to be looking at, real versus fake. As you can see, the real pair has a nice crisp arch going across, while the fake pair just kind of flattens it out. It is very subtle, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. All right, the next thing you want to check is the logos, and the one you're going to be looking at is the one on the top of the tongue right here. And the thing you're going to want to be checking is pretty much the crispness of the edges of the logos. So if it's made in the real factory, the logos will come out pretty much near perfect. You won't see any like jaggedness or irregularness to how the logos are cut and put on. Once again, here's a good example of real versus fake. Just the way they cut and printed it on there is all sorts of messed up. It's not as straight or anything. Is missing some chunks even. While on the real pair, nice and clean cuts. All right, now once you've done the logos, you're probably also thinking to yourself, man, this is a very hard shoe to authenticate, and I agree. Another great way to do it is actually to check the sole of the sneaker. And once again, you're going to be checking the quality. So if it's made in a real factory, the cuts, once again, are just going to be nice and crisp and pretty much be really smooth and don't have any like jaggedness to it. Here's another photo example right here. As you can see, the real pair has really nice edges. Nothing looks out of place. It's pretty smooth. And you can see the fake pair, it's all kind of jagged up a lot. That right there will be a really good way to tell. Also, probably one of the better ways to tell is going to be to the sizing tag right there. Once again, you're going to be checking for the usual suspects like the sizing of the font, the spacing of the letters, and just overall placement. Once again, real versus fake right here. Super hard to tell because the quality on Asics are just garbage, I think. But yeah, it's going to be slight letter misprintings and stuff that will give it away. All right, the last thing you're going to want to check, and this is probably what's going to make or break the whole thing, is you're going to take out the insole of your Asics. Once again, you can just really quickly assess the insole, but the details will probably be very good and close. But what you're going to want to check is flip it around and check the color of what's underneath. Make sure that it's the normal Asics color, which would be this kind of like recycled material. And then you're going to want to check the footbed of the sneakers right there, because fake pairs do tend to mess this up all the time. They put too many stitches, not enough stitches, or the way that the stitch is angled is going to be off. So as you can see, these ones have a slight angle right there. If it's like too sharp or too flat, could be a fake. All right, I think that's all you're going to need to know for the general looks of the sneaker. This next thing is, if you have a new pair, give it a good smell and compare it to another real pair that you have. And if the smell is like any vastly different, it's a good sign that it was made in a different factory and it could be a fake. And then this last thing is just from my general experience, is to check out the seller. Ask the seller a bunch of questions. Ask them, hey, why are you selling? Where did you buy the sneaker? Do you have any proof of purchases of the sneaker? Trying to get a good read on the person. If you see any sort of like inconsistencies with their stories or something like that, it's a good sign that they're trying to lie to you and sell you a fake. And yeah, I think that's all you're gonna need to know to spot a fake pair of Asics 1130s. What'd you guys think about it? Comment down below your opinion, like and share for that YouTube algorithm, and last but certainly not least, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.